Hello, everyone. This is NonyasisChat. I've got a Country Wayne content review. There is a follow-up chat that is online for you to replay and to follow along. So I decided to pick up this particular piece. This is when Anthony first comes into the women's podcast meeting. Yes, he came in on personal business into their podcast business. Now, we all know that the running mantra is that you don't interrupt business with personal. So Anthony walks through the door. He sees Shayla, split moment, and he immediately looks over at Amber. Now, Amber's response is to ignore Anthony. Let us not forget, Amber at this point is over Little Ankles Anthony. She has filed for a divorce with a legal separation. She has a new man, and she is over the suffering of a whole year of this man's coldness, cruelness, name calling, to the point where she slapped him because he wouldn't stop. And the odd part is that Anthony responds to women who he can control with his money. Amber doesn't want his money, and we're still trying to find out if that is why Anthony acts as though he doesn't like Amber. And maybe he doesn't like Amber. Maybe she's a trophy wife that he refuses to let go of. On the other hand, Shayla has been his baby mama / mistress and a child, baby Kai Kai, for 22 months. And Amber is the godmother for that baby. So my first question is, did Snaky Shayla arrange to have Anthony come upstairs? Because Shayla could have taken Kai's things downstairs. It's a backpack to Anthony. Anthony could have texted her to say, I'm here. Would you bring the backpack down? Instead, what does he do? He knocks on the door and enters their meeting. So one of my questions is, did Anthony come there yet again to see Amber? Because he has not seen his previously perfect wife in days. They're getting a divorce. Amber wants nothing to do with Anthony because he's been an atrocious husband ever since he came back to hide his money from the one woman that's not trying to take his money. Shayla, on the other hand, gets $10,000 a month that she calls child support. That is not child support. That is baby mama and baby support. So Shayla's all about the bag. And Anthony likes that. He loves women who take his money because he feels like he's got them in control. Now, Shayla, Anthony actually does not have control. Shayla is a snake. She bites, and she treats Anthony like however she feels like treating him at that moment. So Anthony's in here, and he's upset because Amber dared to ignore him. It is Amber's prerogative to ignore this man. She's divorcing him. Right, she doesn't like him. But this, along with the, here, Amber, take this ring, when he gave her the ring back, his wedding ring. And then he makes a speedy U-turn to come back and say, give me back my ring. However, he had Amber come outside from her business meeting at the podcast that day as well. Does Anthony miss Amber? Do you all think? Is that why he keeps taking any moment he can to get a peek at her? Now keep in mind, Anthony has a new affair number 2 underway with Denisha. Amber doesn't know about this, but when they come to the party next week at Alex's, aka Dave's house, because the party is actually at Dave's house, and that is Amber's new man. The shock is going to send the internet into a frenzy. However, back to Anthony and Amber. So he's upset because Amber didn't look up and say, hello, Anthony. Hi, Anthony. She ignored him, which is her very right to do. Look up for what? She doesn't want to see this man. Why is he there? As soon as he walked in, he looked over at Shayla and immediately zoomed in on Amber. Does he miss Amber's presence in that big haunted mansion? Is he upset that his trophy wife left him and didn't ask him for a dime? She goes home like she's supposed to under the legal separation doctrine. She has nothing for Anthony. So he comes in, he picks a little bit of a fight with her because he's upset that how dare she not look at him and speak. She doesn't want to speak to Anthony. Is she wrong for that? After the garbage he put her through? After breaking this girl like she was a Barbie doll? Now he's demanding respect. Now keep in mind, even in their own home, Amber is not allowed to be around his business meetings because it's business, not personal. It could only be Wayne and Rolanda, but Amber has to be dismissed. He has treated her like a third-class citizen during this 24-month marriage, where 22 of it he spent with Shayla. Shayla threw dirty diapers. She kicked him in the behind, threw things at him. Angelina molded him upside the head. Now, he seems to appreciate that, but he doesn't appreciate a wife who only loses her temper once he pushes and pushes and pushes. Is he into being abused by women and Amber's not playing the game because she's busy being the, quote, perfect wife, which we know doesn't exist? So today, Amber ignored him altogether. And did he get sassy? He was in his feelings that she dared to not speak to him. Who does Anthony think he is? He thinks his money speaks for him. It might, but it's not speaking to Amber. And he's not understanding. I don't even think he has differentiated the difference between Amber and Shayla and all of the other women who want his money. Amber asked him for nothing, except she spent $75,000 to furnish her house and the wedding, but that's another story because we know that he didn't have to have that wedding. So she's not after his money, yet he came home to hide it. to hide it. He didn't come home to stay with his wife. He came to hide it. Anyway, to wrap this up, is Amber wrong for not speaking to him? There's no law that says she has to speak to Anthony. None. And then he gets mad. He goes outside. He's telling Shayla how Amber dared to dismiss him. But I loved at the end of the video because Amber already knew Shayla knew this was going to happen. And when Anthony said his goodbye, Shayla called a stray and said, yeah, go ahead and go out. You guys go take care of Kai. Take your baby mama and go. And Shayla was drawn aback. No, Shayla, she didn't forget. You guys are not friends. You're business partners. As much as you want to be her best friend again, you never will be. Now, Amber working with her, I hope she has a reason for it. Like, get the information to figure out how old Kai is. Because if that's not it, Amber, you need to drop that loser. She's already snaked you once. She's still snaking you by bringing up flowers that appeared where you could have kept that secret. You've got other secrets that you've kept. Why did you have to mention that? Shayla is still the snake that Shayla has always been, but she thinks she's the voice of Skitland these days. Like, she's so brilliant, but she's not. She's a well-tuned snake. Amber didn't speak. Amber basically told him, you can leave. This is a business meeting. It's not personal, Anthony, like you always tell Amber. And Wayne says to his women friends, it's not personal, it's business. Okay, Anthony, this is business. See yourself out. Leave her alone. You're tracking her now. Wherever she goes, you're trying to find her. And I think it's so that he can have a peek at Amber. Does Anthony miss Amber? Is that it? What's the point? He could have waited downstairs. Shayla could have got her self up and took the bag downstairs. What was this about? More game playing is what I see. What do you think? Why is he so perturbed that he needs to get a glimpse of Amber? He didn't want her when he had her. Now she's moved on. He knows she's moved on. So now he wants to get a peek every chance he gets at Amber. She's hardly at the mansion, and I don't blame her. She's been called every name other than a child of God. Stalked in her own home. But let me know what you think. Was Amber wrong for not speaking to him? And he had the nerve to say, this woman only wants to take 50% of my money. 50% is a negotiating starting point. And I really wish people would understand that. Your attorney goes in and says, we want 50% in an equitable state. That's when negotiations are supposed to start. But Anthony won't even sign the papers to get it moving into negotiation. Not to get it resolved, but to get it started, because he refuses to give this woman her freedom. She has asked him 11 times, let me go. And now here we are. Is he low-key stalking her just to get a glimpse? She's in a business meeting. She's not with a man. But let the parties begin. The party is next week. It's supposed to be at Alex's house, but in actuality, it's at Dave's house, which is a beautiful home. And Anthony is going to be in his feelings because he's so proud of his haunted mansion. And when Amber comes to the door with Dave, I'm just waiting to see his face. How do you think Anthony's going to respond when he sees Amber on Dave's arm? And yes, please bring Denisha. The party is in late July, August. Denisha is affair number 2. Shayla is affair number 1. And Shayla, I think you're history. Where is Denisha, by the way? Leave this woman alone. Give her divorce and let her go. You can negotiate it to 30%, but you don't get to treat a person like that and then walk away scot-free and laugh. Anyway, this is NonyasisChat. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments about why he's doing this to Amber. Talk to you later.